All right, guys, the Utah Jazz, they lose this one to the Portland Trail Blazers. I did not predict this. I figured the Jazz would win this. The Blazers were on a 6-game losing streak, and it doesn't happen. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Postgame Show. Guys, before we get into this, if you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. We're getting close to 10K. Let's get to 10K. All right, let's talk about the Blazers first, and then let's talk about the Jazz. I almost started the intro again. I gotta be careful. But anyways, let's take this down and let's bring me down. Damian Lillard reminded us that he's amazing, but he kind of did it in different ways tonight. He was 8 for 19 from the field, 2 for 10 from 3. So the shooting wasn't there, but the free throws were, he was driving and he was dishing the ball. And it was a very clear effort from Dame tonight that he was going to figure out how to include his teammates because the Jazz were trapping him, and he kind of did the thing that Jason Tatum didn't do 2 games ago, where the Jazz were trapping Jason Tatum, getting the ball out of his hands, and Damian Lillard was just much more composed and found a way to really break the double team, and then gets his teammates into the game. 12 assists tonight, but I mean, honestly, if you considered hockey assists and other things where, you know, he makes the initial pass and then someone makes the secondary pass that gets to the open man, it started by Damian Lillard. So great night for him, but he still manages 30 points, even with a bad three-point shooting night. He was a plus 18 with just 2 turnovers, 12 assists. That's an amazing assist-turnover ratio, and then also just 7 rebounds. So he was close to a triple-double tonight. Awesome stuff from Damian Lillard. There were some guys tonight that played really well for the Blazers. I love Shaedon Sharpe, and tonight was one of those nights where he showed you what he could become. I mean, the shooting was there. 4 for 7 from 3, 9 for 19 from the field. He took 3 free throws. I think this will go up. It's kind of too bad he hasn't developed super fast this year, because he can really become something for them. But he did get to the line 3 times. But with his size and athleticism, you'd like to see him getting there more like 4 or 5 times a game, so that when he has nights where he's not shooting the ball well, he's still producing. Kind of like Lillard. He didn't shoot the ball well, 19 shots, but he had 30 points. Why? Because he got to the free throw line, and then when you consider the addition he does by just assisting his teammates and using his own gravity to get other guys open, that's something that young players like Shaedon Sharpe can learn, and maybe he'll take a nice jump next year. I think he's got a lot of potential, and I know a lot of people do too. So Nurkic had a solid night, and Trendon Watford, I don't know a lot about Trendon Watford, but he played well tonight. Look at that, 56% from the field. The Blazers just overall played really well. 9 rebounds, 5 assists for him. Really nice. You know, as I was watching Cam Reddish, he hit some nice shots. Some floaters. He hit that 1-3. I watch him, and it's always surprising to me he hasn't been better, because you see him and you can see the elements of a really good player, and just for whatever reason he hasn't figured it out yet. And I don't know if he ever will, because it seems like a mental thing to me. I don't know. And then Kevin Knox is the Blazers' ability to tank the season. I liked him in the draft just because of the size and the potential, and he just has not panned out at all in the league. So 50% from the field tonight, which is solid, 10 points, and maybe the Blazers can turn him into something, but certainly not going to do much for them this year. And then Drew Eubanks only played 5 minutes. It's interesting. I wonder if that was because of Walker Kessler. All right, guys, we're going to probably get to the Jazz here quick. This might not be as long a one tonight. I'm sorry, but let's talk about the Jazz. Okay, let's see. So Lauri Markkanen is just incredible. I mean, he's the story of the night. I mean, there were 2 or 3 times, though, where he was grabbing his wrist, and not great, you know. But, I mean, the fact that he powers through 60% from the field, 33% from 3 tonight, I mean, this was kind of the difference a little bit. But you can't expect Markkanen to be just laser beams all night, but he was pretty much that. 12 rebounds, 40 points, 3 assists, just bonkers. It's just crazy how good he is. It's crazy. He is so good, and he just shows it night after night. 14 made baskets in so many different ways, whether it's the three-point line, driving to the hoop, turnaround mid-range shots. He cuts to the rim so nice. He's got such good touch around the rim. I mean, he really is such a complete offensive player now. And he could even get a little better if he can just kind of play make a little more. I don't know if that'll ever be quite his game, but who cares when you're this efficient? So that's why he's just the perfect player to play off of a star. If the Jazz can go out and get a stud like a Jaylen Brown or someone like that in trade, I'm not saying that can happen. I hope it does. Maybe. But if the Jazz can go out and make a trade for someone like that they can bring in with Lauri Markkanen and hopefully hit in the draft this year, then you've got yourself something really exciting. Kelly Olynyk came down to earth finally. He has played so well, shot the ball so well since All-Star break. He was due a kind of a stinker from shooting the ball this game, but he still had 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists. He had 5 turnovers too, so just not a great game for Olynyk, but you know what? That's going to happen. Not all players are going to have great games every night, unless you're Lauri Markkanen. Walker Kessler was just super good again. He only plays 23 minutes, though, which is interesting to me that Will Hardy, even though Walker Kessler is such a dominant guy, he's willing to rest him in certain situations. And I don't know if it was foul trouble. Did he have foul trouble? No. So he wasn't getting played as much tonight. And so, but when he's in there, he does really good things. But he was minus 19. It makes me want to rewatch the game and just kind of watch how he played. But I think he struggled tonight, honestly, by the numbers. I wasn't watching it closely. I wasn't watching Walker Kessler closely, I should say. I just noticed that the interior defense obviously wasn't very good tonight. And that's probably why he rested. There were a lot of bad plays for the Jazz. There was a lot of not great defense. And maybe Walker Kessler was being sat, which honestly makes me happy because that's a good sign that Will Hardy's going to bench you if you're not playing well. Ochai Agbaji had that incredible game last game against the Kings, and he came down to earth a little bit tonight. 7 points, but you know what? There's a few times where he's still showing these flashes. Like early in the game, he drives to the hoop and then kicks out to a 3-point shooter. That was earlier in the game. And that's exciting because that shows he's willing to do more things. One thing I noticed, I was watching him and Shaedon Sharpe because Shaedon Sharpe has so much hype about him. It's kind of cooled off a little bit. But Ochai was just as big as Shaedon Sharpe, and I probably give a slight edge to Shaedon Sharpe in terms of athleticism, but I wouldn't say Ochai Agbaji's that's far off from Shaedon Sharpe in terms of athleticism. And so I think there is a little bit of a higher ceiling there for Ochai that he could get better in a lot of different ways. I don't know if he's going to ever be an elite kind of playmaking guard, but if he can dribble and kick out, and if he can do a few things, he threw an alley-oop he had 3 assists tonight. He threw that one alley-oop to Kessler. He's showing a lot of signs, so it's exciting to see that he's not just this shooter. Obviously, he can shoot the ball 50% from 3, but he can shoot in a lot of different ways, and he's showing that he can pass the ball. He can do a little more and make shots inside and stuff like that. So really nice to see. Taylor Horton-Tucker wasn't very good tonight. He made a couple big buckets at the beginning of the third quarter, but he was not good in the first half. I mean, he still had 7 assists, so that's nice to see that even though he was making a lot of mistakes on the floor and not a lot of great things, in the second half he did improve, and he still manages 7 assists, so pretty interesting stuff. Rudy Gay was ruled out for the rest of the game. Jazz PR tweeted mid-game that he would be ruled out with back spasms, so I don't know if we're going to see a lot of Rudy Gay. Probably not next game. If he's having back spasms, that's not good. Simone Fontecchio played. He hit that 1-3, and it looked like he would be kind of taking off the rest of the season, and he kind of hit a rookie wall a little bit tonight. 19 points, just 5 points, so that was interesting. Chris Dunn also is just so good. It's crazy how good Chris Dunn. He was he was probably the second best player for the Jazz tonight after Lauri Markkanen. Chris Dunn has just figured out how to be a nice player in multiple ways, and one of those is going to the rim, shooting that little floater. He took 1-3 and missed it tonight, but he took 7 free throws, 15 points, and 3 assists. That is such a nice pickup, and they got him out of nowhere. That's really all I got. I mean, Doak had a great game last game against the Kings. Tonight, he actually looked pretty solid. +7 in this one. He actually played pretty good. 14 minutes, and I'd say he earned it. So good for Doak to get a little better. All right, guys, not much else to say. We didn't see really Jarrell Brantley except for garbage time, but I wonder if we see him more if Lauri Markkanen rests with a wrist injury. And we might see him more if Rudy Gay has back spasms, So we'll see. That'll be kind of fun to watch. But look at this. Portland didn't have Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Nasir Little, or Justice Winslow. I don't know if that really changes much. But 3 of their best players, and they still beat the Jazz. That's interesting. which, by the way, it does bear mentioning that the Jazz played the Boston Celtics. It was the Celtics' 4th game in 6 nights and something like that, like 3rd game in 5 nights or something like that for the Kings. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, if you're still listening. Makes you wonder if maybe the Jazz got a little lucky bounce. Plus, against Boston, they didn't have Horford. They didn't have Marcus Smart. The Kings didn't have Kevin Huerter. So I wonder if the tank is actually much more on than we think. And the Blazers and Kings just got kind of unlucky, and the Jazz got lucky, which has kind of happened all season. It feels like the Jazz have played a lot of good teams that didn't have players playing. It's kind of happened all year long. So pretty wild. All right, guys, let's get this started. Not a very long one tonight, but that's okay. Not every night has to be 40 minutes long. But let's see the Jazz after tonight. Let's make sure this is refreshed. The latest and greatest. The Jazz jumped to 11. Yeah, baby. What is this dog? What is this? Get off my screen. All right, here we go. Before that dumb dog comes back up. All right, let's see what would happen for the Jazz if the lottery was today. Yeah! Tanking doesn't work. Says right there that you are wrong. It only took about 30 games, but we got it. Yeah! Who says 11 isn't better than 13, baby? Woo! 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 All right, number 4, baby! Woo! Let's see what the Jazz get at number 4. That means Amen Thompson, baby! Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! And in this draft, the Jazz also get, from the Wolves, Jalen Hood-Schifino, 6'6" guard. I'll have to watch some of him. But 6'6" is nice size at point guard, so I don't know. But at this point, a lot of people have Ryan Rupert going to the Jazz, and he's a 6'6" shooting guard from France. I don't know. Maybe. I'm so pumped to give out getting Amen Thompson. Size at the point guard, baby. Yeah. That means you could also go Jarris Walker. Maybe you trade back, get another pick, and you just grab Jarris Walker at 6 or Cam Whitmore at 7 or something like that. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Oh, we won the lottery. We won the lottery. It was all worth it. And we got an all-NBA guy that's better than who we traded for him. If that makes sense. All right, guys. Let's give a shout out to our All-Stars, baby. Woo! All right, let's give a shout out to baby Elliot Madsen, Ezekiel Raicibe, the man from down under. Let's see ya, Lexalator, Bill Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de Bajo, Jordan the Go Best Rule, Just Buckets, JB, Zap Watts, TGD, Total Game Domination, Christian House, Money to Haas, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, X marks the spot for Zintis, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, DWCB, Darren Williams, DeCarlos Boozer, Patrick Kakubo, the Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, if you're here, like and subscribe to the channel. Please do it. Support me. Support me. We got the number 4 pick, baby. I love it. I love it. And it's not all that impossible because look, 7.1% chance to get top 4. But by the way, I think the Jazz are still in play for this 8 or 9 spot. Why not? You can get to this 8 spot, and that's a big deal. 26%? Are you kidding me? So yeah, let's get there. I think it's possible. Washington is probably going to win a few of these games. Jazz have to lose. Lose. All right, guys, I will talk to you next time.